Serious. People of Reddit who are 40+ years old and decided to not have children. How are you feeling about your decision now? It's a strange one. I know I made the right decision. I would have made a terrible parent, so I've got no regrets about not having kids. However, I'm at the point in life where all my friends have settled down and are raising families. And I no longer have much in common with them. We still meet up, and I understand their time constraints. But as the years go by, there's less to talk about. No regrets on not having kids. I never could have given them the life they deserved. As I age, I'm 57. I do wish I had a life partner. I'm a bit scared about being elderly and alone, but I'm always glad I didn't have kids. 58. I was always on the fence about it, and in the end it wasn't all my decision as an ectopic destroyed my tubes. But loving it so far. I'm in my 60s now, and I regretted it for about 5 minutes when I was 38. That's when my first niece was born, and I thought I might be missing out. It is not something you think about every day. Sometimes I feel missing out. Sometimes I see friends playing with their grandkids and it makes me jealous. But those kind of thoughts cross your mind once a month or even more rarely. I'm 49, my husband is 53. We're both more than happy with how things are. I never wanted kids. I was the eldest in a family of 4 and was de facto childminder from the age of 8. I was 16 when my youngest sister was born, and my mum relied on me heavily with her. I did night feeds, looked after her when the rest went on holiday, and when I left home at 18. Regularly had both her and my middle sister staying with me for weekends and weeks during the summers. Don't get me wrong. I loved every moment, and I'm really close with my youngest sister, but between watching my mum deal with this and the experiences I had myself, knew I didn't want to devote my life to kids. I couldn't face the idea of mornings, getting them up, washed, dressed, fed, sent to school. I wasn't interested in being a taxi ferrying them to after-school stuff, friends' houses, etc., etc. I wasn't interested in worrying about money. I also realized that if I had kids in my early 20s, I would be in my late 40s before my life was my own again, at best, and never have my own life again if I didn't have them till I was in my late 30s. My husband was never bothered one way or the other. Our life is good. We're not rich by any means. Between us we earn about £40,000 a year. But we aren't tied to our jobs. If we wanted to change it up, we can without worrying about putting food on the table. And we do low-stress jobs. We work to live, not live to work. We own our own home. We can go on holiday. We indulge our hobbies and take on new ones, getting ourselves some Oculus Quests in the new year. We don't miss having kids. My baby sister, now 33, is also child-free, and I know she and her husband are pretty content with their lives too. I feel I should also say, I don't hate kids. I'm happy to spend time in their company and enjoy time with friends and family's kids. But I'm very glad I don't have to take them home with me, lol. Nearly 50. Never regretted it. I knew from a very young age that I never wanted kids. And that hasn't changed. My wife is also happy with that, fortunately. I barely have enough energy to take care of myself. And if I try real hard, maybe a casual girlfriend. No fucking way could I handle a kid. Still feeling great about that decision with no regrets at all. It has allowed us to be present in the lives of our friends' kids in a wonderful way. We're like the weird aunt and uncle who have always been there to a pack of kids. It's good when kids have adults to talk to, bounce ideas and thoughts off of that aren't their parents. To be able to be there for them in this way has been really great. Had a vasectomy at 29. Unmarried and no children at the time. It took a lot of talking. Just turned 60 and am well aware that if I die after I fully retire, it's entirely likely no one will notice until the mailbox starts to overflow. So yeah, I have moments of regret every so often. I don't think that's enough reason to have brought additional humans into this world. Though, my wife and I are both good with it. We were able to go on a lot of cool vacations, save a lot of money, have a lot of time to ourselves, etc. I feel bad that for about 15 years of her life my wife is shamed because she didn't want a child. So you just don't want children? With that said, we were forced into a situation where we had to take care of our niece, who was 9 months, for 6 months. It did make us appreciate some things about children. I now better understand the love for a child. We will now do anything for our niece for the rest of our lives. I thought having a child around would make me more understanding of parents, but it really hasn't. I still think a lot of them do a shitty job and are setting them up for failure in the future. The older I get, the more sure I am of my decision. Someone else commented it on here, so I second this line of reasoning. Certain unhealthy, toxic behaviors are cyclical, generational, including hereditary on a biological level. And I'm more concerned with ending all this with me than I am with seeking validation via a child. On top of that, my emotional issues make me unable to properly connect or care for a child in the way they deserve. I am very empathetic to pain in that sense. But I also have issues with not inevitably becoming a source of that pain. I.e., I have serious commitment, investment issues and frequently check out when it's all too much. Lastly, I'm very conscious of how much life changes when you have a kid, which some people remain bafflingly obtuse on until they're in the thick of it. Like, yes, kids are expensive. They're loud. Their logic makes no sense in a lot of situations and they literally can't help that, so yeah, you're gonna be spending extraordinary amounts of time, energy on just keeping them alive. Oh, and they have serious emotional needs that you are definitely fucking up if you don't give them what they need. I have zero interest in all of it and no issues with admitting to that. So ultimately I don't have any desire for a child. And I will not continue the cycle of having them cause we don't know what else to do. Occasionally I feel a biological pang when I see cute baby clothes. But then I remember really quick everything that goes into and I'm over it.